Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the last video of our series on how to use astrology in order to find your soul's purpose. Today and specifically we are gonna talk about the 6th house in astrology, and if you haven't seen my previous videos from this series, I'm gonna link the whole playlist right here so that you can check it out for yourself, because this entire playlist is created in order to help you find what your mission on earth in this lifetime is. And those videos are really amazing. They're gonna give you so much value, so please go ahead and check them out. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Anna. I'm your spiritual lifestyle coach, and I bring all of those spiritual ideas down to earth to give you actionable tips and resources that you can actually use in your daily life. And I use astrology as the base of my coaching because astrology can help us in so many things, and it's kind of like this guideline that can guide us towards the life of our dreams. So if you are interested in topics like that, then please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. And now let's move on to the video. So let's start with explaining what the 6th house is actually about. So the 6th house is about our routines, our daily habits, our structures, and our day-to-day work. So this probably already tells you why it's important to know what this house is about, since it really impacts our purpose in life and our daily work. So the thing with the 6th house is that it tells us really about the work environment and the work itself that is gonna align with us the most, which really is great, because when we want to find out what our soul's purpose is and we want to combine it with our career and we want to live a more aligned life, this is where the 6th house comes in place, because it tells us about our daily structures and our day-to-day work. So if we are able to align with this house and with the energy of this house, we are actually able to live our best life on day-to-day basis, which is not gonna drain us, but which is gonna provide us with even more energy so that we can actually create even more and that we really can live our best life. And therefore, knowing about this house will give us information about the suitable work environment for ourselves and a suitable workplace that will allow us to really thrive. Also, important thing to know is that it's really important to take a closer look at the house itself as well as the ruler of the house. So in this video, we are gonna go through the zodiac signs in the 6th house, as well as the placement of the ruler of your 6th house. So make sure to take out your charts and stay with me, because we are about to dive deep into the 6th house and what it actually means for your work environment and how you can align the best with the energy of your house. So if you have Aries in your 6th house, this really means that you're a hard worker. You also want to be the boss and can become impatient and move on if promotions are delayed or if the work is too slow for you in general. You really need a fast-paced work environment, and it must keep you interested, otherwise you will just get bored with it. And you also might prefer a physical job instead of a boring desk job. So you need something that will allow you to use your energy and drive, preferably in a physical form, because mental challenges are not appealing to you as much as the physical work and literally going after the things, because you are ruled, and your 6th house is ruled by the Mars. So you want to do things, you want to take action and go after things. You don't like to be held back by anybody, and you prefer to be the leader and to initiate things regarding your job environment. If you have Taurus in your 6th house, this means that you're also a hard worker, but a very methodical one, and you're very thorough and reliable. You really want a steady, slow-paced environment and one that is comfortable. And it's also pleasing the eye, because you are ruled, or your 6th house is ruled by Venus. So you also enjoy your workplace to be actually very comfortable and something that you will really be able to feel comfortable in. And routine is really your comfort zone. So you really resist any changes and you really prefer to do things the old way. So a work environment that will give you the stability and security is really important to you. And a work that requires you to actually follow set up structures and not taking the initiative is really a good choice for you. Remember, Taurus energy is very stable and stability oriented. You prefer to do things the old way, and you prefer to stay in the routines of things because this is where you will be actually able to thrive. And this is actually the energy that will allow you to be the most efficient in your workspace. If you have Gemini in your 6th house, this means that you really enjoy work where you can use your hands almost as much as your mind, although you prefer probably to use your mind even more because you are ruled by Mercury. But your short attention span can actually lead to changing your jobs quite often. And you're the happiest in a fast-paced workspace where you can be active, where you can actually communicate with others and exchange your ideas with others, and an environment that will provide you lots of variety. Some people with Gemini in this placement have even several jobs because you get bored so easily and you just love to be on the constant move and you love to be in the ever-changing world and in the changing environment. That's why sometimes having actually 2 or 3 jobs is the best option for you. But your nervous tension really requires daily stress relief, so make sure that you have a routine set up that will allow you to actually calm down, rewind from the exhausting day that you had so that you can be your best the next day. So as I said, you really require a job that will have lots of changeability in it and mental exchange with others. And you really need a job that will stimulate your mind more than anything else, because Gemini is ruled by the Mercury, so mental stimulation is actually the most important thing to you. You really need to be able to communicate with others, to exchange ideas, and something that will allow you to adapt and change, and you need a job that requires that of you so that you can actually be your best at your job. If you have Cancer in the 6th house, that means that you really need a calm and supportive work environment with coworkers that will give you the support and that will feel kind of like familiar, and that will give you the feeling of actually like family at your workplace. But you also tend to be very emotionally attached to the work that you are doing and to the people that you are working with. And for you, I would really say that the work environment itself and the people that you are working with is far more important than the job itself. You also need something where you can be of service, where you are actually needed, and where you can use being emotional and your empathy actually to your advantage at your job. But you really need to feel well at your job, where you can just work in a very nice environment, because this is how you are gonna be able to thrive in your job. So really make sure that you pay attention to the people that you are working with, as well as the atmosphere at your workplace in general. You also don't want to have something where you have to do things very quickly and where there is lots of changeability, because this is not gonna align with the energy that you want to have at your work. You really need something that is gonna be comfortable, that is gonna be a safe space to work with, and you just don't want to get overwhelmed with informations coming at you or people coming at you. You really like the atmosphere to be actually calm and safe, and then you really can work at your best. If you have Leo in your 6th house, you really take lots of pride in your job and you are very conscious doing the job to the best of your ability. You really put your whole heart into the work that you are actually doing, and any critique regarding the work that you are doing can actually really hurt your ego, because you just love and admire the work that you actually are doing. And you also really like to be your own boss, and you like to be able to express yourself at your work, because this is gonna be the area of your life where you will literally outshine everyone. So this is really important for you, that you can be yourself at your job, that you can be your creative self, that you can tap into your creativity and your self-expression. and that you are really seen for the work that you are actually doing. So anything that will allow you to be at the center of attention, that will allow you to shine through the work that you are doing, and through the service that you are giving to others, because we can't forget that the sixth house is also about the service that we give to others. So you don't want to shine only for being you, as maybe with other Leo placements, but you really want to be actually recognized for the work and for the service that you provide to others. So for you, it's just really important that people actually acknowledge that you are doing the whole work, because you don't want to be recognized for the bare minimum that you are doing. You really are putting your whole heart into it, and that's why it hurts you so much when somebody doesn't appreciate you at your workspace. So make sure that you find a job where you can be seen, where you can be appreciated for the amazing job that you are doing, and also you have really great organizing skills, so make sure to also use those. But this is gonna be the environment and the energy of your sixth house and of the work environment that is gonna work best for you. If you have a Virgo in your sixth house, you really have such a strong work ethic, and you really pay attention to the smallest details. So every task is completed with accuracy and attention to the detail, and you put in long hours when necessary to actually achieve it. So you really put the attention to the details, and you really want to be of service to others, because Virgo is in its house sign in the sixth house, since the sixth house is the house of Virgo. So you really focus on being of service to others through creating structures and routines, and through paying attention to the smallest details. So you really are amazing at what you are doing, because you are the person that is gonna really accomplish every task to literal perfection. Just make sure that you don't get caught up in the details, because not everything can always be perfect. So just make sure that you are reminding yourself of that, so that you don't get too stressed in your job, because you actually tend to be very stress prone regarding your job and the work environment itself. So you actually also don't like to be pressured, because you can work greatly on your own. You just need to be given a task, and then you will even think about the details that actually need to be completed. So make sure that you pick a job that will allow for this work environment, so that you can thrive in it. If you have a Libra in the sixth house, this means that you really need to be working with others where you can collaborate. So working with people is very, very important for you. And you also need something that will challenge you mentally, because you are so intelligent and you put so much focus on working with others. This is really important for you, that you actually have a job that will allow you to work in groups or just with colleagues in general, where you are able to collaborate with others and also create a harmonious work environment. Even though you are a great mediator and you can also be great at resolving any conflicts, you really hate conflicts. And so that's why having a workspace that will allow for this harmonious energy is gonna be really, really important for you. So find a work that will allow for some professionalism combined with working with others, and also a very harmonious space where you can communicate with others and maybe even solve problems on a very mental level, but in a very elegant manner. So this is gonna be the work environment that is gonna allow you to thrive in it. If you have a Scorpio in the sixth house, you really are a responsible and really a hard worker, because you push yourself to the limits, because you just go all in the job that you are choosing for yourself. Although you have incredible stamina, overdoing it can actually result in injuring yourself or just leading to burning out. So please be cautious of that. And you take charge of projects and prefer to work solo rather than working in a team, in order to maintain control, because control is actually everything to you regarding your workspace. You really love to be in control over the things that you are doing. You really love to focus on the tasks that are in front of you. So you really are probably one of the hardest workers out there, but you really tend to push yourself so hard to the limit that actually this leads to a burning out or to injuring yourself or to other problems. And also for you, it's very important that you make sure that work is not your whole life, because you tend to just merge with the job that you are doing. You can really become so obsessed and driven by your job that you forget to actually have a life besides your job. So please make sure that you also take care of other parts of your life. But other than that, this is a great placement to work somewhere that will actually allow you to use your intense focus in order to achieve things at your workspace, because this is gonna be a work environment that is actually gonna align with your energy. If you have Sagittarius in your 6th house, you often are the first to do the extra work because you don't mind it. You like to take on new challenges, but in exchange, you really expect to have your freedom to do your job without supervision. So you are the person that can do everything on their own, but you just hate it when there is somebody that is gonna look behind your shoulders at the work that you are doing, because you just want to be given a task and then you can complete it without any questions, and you can really be very good at it and you are optimistic when it comes to your job. The only thing that you really hate is being supervised. And you also prefer to have a spacious work environment and one that is gonna offer you plenty of opportunities to interact with your coworkers, to exchange ideas, and to think on a bigger scale. You don't like to be concerned with the details and to go too much into depth with whatever it is that you're doing. You like to stay in the big picture, in the big vision of things. So finding a work that will align with that energy is gonna allow you to thrive in your workspace. If you have Capricorn in your 6th house, you really are a very efficient worker. You are organized and ambitious and very hardworking. And you'd expect the same from your coworkers and supervisors alike. So you are the person that is gonna actually work so hard that you are gonna expect, and you can only work under people who actually work more than you are, which is pretty hard, but you would never work under somebody who doesn't put in so much effort and who isn't ambitious and serious about what they are doing. And so work hard, play hard is really your work ethic, and you oftentimes even exceed your responsibilities. And for you, your social life and business are usually separate, although you enjoy having people around you that are also very hard workers, where you can be on a very professional level with them. This will allow you to actually thrive. And you really take on so many responsibilities, which you don't mind because you actually thrive. The more responsibilities you take on, the more secure you feel, because this allows you to actually do the things your own way, and you know they are gonna be done properly, because oftentimes you know that if you want the things to be done 100%, you need to do it yourself, because you actually have what it takes to complete those tasks, and you don't trust easily other people who you don't know, because you don't know their work ethics and you know how the world actually is. So you are extra cautious of that. But finding a job that will allow you to be really ambitious and that is going to actually pay off, and that is going to allow you to be very professional at whatever you are doing, and that is going to allow you to work with people who are really like-minded. Because for you, the only thing that you can't do is working with people who are not taking their job seriously, who are flaky, and who just aren't giving it 100% as you are. This would kill you. So make sure that you find a workplace that is going to align with that energy, and then you are really going to be able to thrive. If you have Aquarius in your 6th house, you really need a high degree of independence in your workday, and you need the freedom to organize and prioritize your tasks the way you actually feel about them and the way you want to do them. Rules and procedures are fine if you agree with them, not so much if you have a different view on them, because then you probably won't do them. So it's really important for you that you work somewhere that will allow you the level of independence and autonomy that you desire, so that you can actually be good at whatever it is that you're doing. You also enjoy to work with people, and you really can work with others, but preferably in a position that will allow you to stay in the bigger picture of things, because you are really concerned with the bigger picture of things. You really are great with working and with seeing what's best for the group or for the company that you are working for. So something that will allow you to both combine the freedom of doing the things like you like them to do, and to stay in the larger picture, to actually lead the things. I would say you could also be in a position of a supervisor or a boss, but you don't really like to tell people what they are supposed to do. You like your freedom and you give the freedom to others as well. And you are quite annoyed if you actually have to tell others how to do their jobs. So you really like to work with people who are intelligent, who know what they are doing, who are also independent workers, and then you can be a part of this group. But when you have to tell others what they have to do and every step of the way, you really find it exhausting because you hate it, because then you can't focus on your tasks, and this really annoys you. So make sure that you find a work environment that allows you to work independently and that allows you to work with people who also want to work very independently, who are able to think for themselves and who are actually able to do their part, and then you will really thrive in your work environment. If you have Pisces in your 6th house, you really need a work environment that is gonna be very calm and easygoing, and where you can be adaptable and where you can actually help others. And for you, also very, very important is that you actually have the freedom to do the things creatively. Because you are really connected to the larger picture of things, and you are really connected with your creativity, because your house is ruled by Neptune, which is about the creativity. It's about your imagination. So anything that will allow you to use your imagination at your job, that will not set any boundaries on you, because you hate boundaries. You hate being kept in, a small space where you only have to do routine work and always the same tasks. This would literally kill you. You really need something where you can use your sensibility, where you can actually work in a very calm environment, so that you are able to connect with your creativity and with the bigger picture, with the bigger side of things, in an environment where you are able to be the part of something bigger than yourself. You really love to work somewhere that has a bigger cause. You really love to be a part of it, because you and your work will actually merge with it. You can also become so involved in the job that you are doing, not in a scorpionic way where they literally get obsessed with the job that they are doing, but you do it in a kind of way that you just merge with it. You become a part of it. You become a part of this bigger mission that you really believe in. So working in a workspace that is going to align with that energy is going to help you to be the most productive and to actually feel your best at the job that you are doing. So now let's talk about the placement of your 6th house ruler. So as you know, every sign has a planetary ruler. So now you want to take a look at what the ruler of the sign of your 6th house is, and you want to see in which house the ruler actually is. And this is gonna indicate to us where the energy for work actually comes from, or an area of life that is gonna affect you and your work environment. So if the ruler of your 6th house is in your 1st house, this means that people in your work environment have really a deep and personal impact on you, and they can really be a source of great encouragement that pushes you to your full leadership potential. So really your work impacts you on a deeply personal level. It really becomes a part of how you appear to others, and it's really an important part for you, and really of your identity and of how other people actually see you. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 2nd house, your actual work is the source of much of your income, and it also is one strong factor in the development of your self-esteem. So for you, the work that you are doing is gonna really bring much to your self-worth, and it can either enhance your self-worth or completely destroy it. So that's why you really need to be careful of the work that you are choosing. But this really can be a source of actually creating more value in your life, whether that's gonna be monetary value or just that it's gonna create more value within yourself. But this placement is really gonna impact how you view yourself, and this is gonna have a strong impact on your values. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 3rd house, this means that you generally enjoy intellectual exchange with your coworkers, and work relationships really add to your own versatility and enhance your adaptability in work situations. You are the kind of person that really needs that mental stimulation and really want to be able to be around different people and to do different things, and you really need to be able to exchange your ideas with others. And the job that you are doing daily is really gonna add up to the way that you communicate, and this is really gonna allow you for this mental stimulation that you really crave. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 4th house, this means that your work is likely to follow the path of older family members or of individuals who you really admire, and these people probably will have similar beliefs and feelings to your own. So for you, actually taking the job is about honoring your roots and maybe even the wishes of your family. So you also could be the person that is gonna take on a family business, for example, or you will just take the job that your parents picked for you, or you just will continue to have the same job as the people in your family before you had. So for you, actually, the job that you're doing is very much about your roots. So for you, it's really about following the tradition. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 5th house, that means that you really bring confidence and creativity to your work environment. Although you usually don't wave a flag to actually attract any attention to yourself, but you just know how to use your creativity properly, and you usually know when to make your move, and you really have the reassurance to do so. So you really are very confident at your job, and you like to shine at whatever it is that you are doing, and you really love to use your creativity at the work that you are actually doing. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 6th house, this means that you are really likely to find the work conditions that actually suit your career rather easily, and the people with this placement are oftentimes very well suited for the task that they are gonna be doing in their jobs. So for you, it's actually rather easy, and you are really aligned with the career that you are gonna be doing. And for you, it actually puts even more emphasis on your day-to-day work and on the daily habits that you have and on the structures and routines that you will create around your job. As well as for you, it's really important to actually be of service to others in your work environment. So this is really gonna be the key point for you. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 7th house, you really pay much attention to your business partners and significant others, and they will be a force in your work environment. So look to them for backup when you struggle, because business partnerships or your significant relationships or relationships in general are really gonna support you in the work that you are gonna be doing. So really making sure that you build those business partnerships, that you are always able to check up with somebody, and that you can always ask somebody for help is gonna be very, very important for you. Collaborations in general are gonna enhance your work environment in general. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 8th house, if the ruler of your 6th house is in your 8th house, this means that you will actually be able to transform when it comes to your job or the job that you are gonna be doing, and you are also probably the person that just stays with the one company that you picked because you are so devoted to the job that you are doing that you really are gonna stay with the company until the end, because you are so devoted to the cause and to the company itself. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 9th house, you will find yourself positioned just off stage for many public scenes which will impact your career. So for you, it's actually gonna be about staying in the larger side of things, and actually you could even travel a lot for your work and to have business trips in general, and you will be concerned with the things that involve the company, not on day-to-day small level, but you will really be the part of the bigger picture and of the picture of the company in general. So you will be involved in the core values that the company actually has, and you will actually be responsible for connecting to others maybe, and traveling and meeting up with maybe new business partners or with new people, or just bringing the company to the outside world in general. If you have the ruler of your 6th house in your 10th house, this means that you really have the direct connections you need in order to make career progress. And you really take a very stable and organized and structured and goal-oriented approach to your work. So for you, working with people that are very, very ambitious and that are very well organized, that are very structured and professional regarding the career and the job that they are doing, is gonna really be the key for you, and you yourself will need something that will allow you to set your goals and to achieve them. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 11th house, this means that circumstances over which you have no control will influence your work environment, since the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So constant change and surprises, oftentimes to your benefit though, and you will often be actually responsible for handling any crisis regarding the work, which you will actually be really great at. If the ruler of your 6th house is in your 12th house, this means that you work better when you can work on your own and when you can be by yourself in order to develop your work strategy. And so you really need the time for yourself, and you really need the time to actually plan the whole process of how you will proceed and how you will go about the work. So you really need something that will allow you to stay calm, to be for a moment on your own, so that you can figure out a fitting strategy for your work. Now let's go through the sign of your 6th house ruler, which is gonna give us the energy of how you are gonna actually go about your work. Now let's talk about the sign of your 6th house ruler, which is gonna give us the energy of how you will actually go about your work. So this is gonna be the energy that is gonna accompany your actions in your work. So if the ruler of your 6th house is in Aries, your urge to assert yourself in the work environment can be a very potent tool for change, but just don't let it get you into trouble, since you will want to be at the front of things, you will want to initiate things. Sometimes you can be a little bit reckless, but in general, your enterprising attitude will take you far at work. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Taurus, you really have a somewhat materialistic approach towards your work, yet you can reuse this to increase your production and your productivity. And your interest in finances helps you to see the larger picture of things, and you really are thorough with your work habits in general. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Gemini, this means that you will really take a very mental approach towards your work. You will really be very versatile, although sometimes you can be very indecisive. So make sure that you actually use your versatility and that you use your big brain and intellect to solve any conflicts and to just connect with people in general and to communicate. And also writing and communication in general could be a very significant part of your work. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Cancer, that means that your work focuses on the nurturing qualities within yourself. So your emotional and intuitive awareness are really a strong asset regarding your work, and you will probably find yourself in a career that will allow you to use those nurturing qualities about yourself. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Leo, leadership roles really may come easy to you as you demonstrate your capacity for management. You are a great manager and a really great leader. And there is no need to be overbearing in your attitude towards other coworkers, because they will listen to you when you are actually true to your own unique self, and when you don't boss them around, but when you actually lead with being the greatest example. And so that's why for you it's very important that you demonstrate rather loyalty and generosity, and this will actually bring you far more than being stubborn and actually bossing people around. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Virgo, that means that you will really pay much attention to the details, and sometimes you can become overly critical over others and over the work that others are doing. So just make sure that you are actually using your ability to pay attention to the details in a good way, where you can actually share your critique as a constructive critique that will actually help them to learn from their mistakes rather than over criticizing them. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Libra, that means that you can actually be quite a people pleaser at your workplace, and you really are the person that tries to maintain the harmony at your workplace, and you really are a skilled counselor. So make sure that you use this ability to your advantage, where you can actually get paid for resolving conflicts between people and where you can actually create more harmony in your work. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Scorpio, that means that you understand your work environment on a very, very deep level. You really are able to identify trends early and see the possibilities for change. And for you, it's important that you leave no room for sarcasm or secretiveness in your work. Try to use those amazing detective-like abilities in your work to actually come up with ideas how to improve and change and transform your work environment, rather than being very secretive and possessive. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Sagittarius, that means that you really bring broad-mindedness to your work, and you will do well not to bring personal religious beliefs that could actually interfere with your workplace. So make sure that you leave your personal beliefs at your home and don't mix them with your work environment. But your idealistic attitude and idealism can actually be very useful in your job. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Capricorn, that means that you really take a very authoritative approach to your job. You are very goal-oriented, and you should avoid pessimism, since you really have high expectations of yourself and of the people that you are working with. But sometimes you really can be quite stubborn, and you really don't leave any room at all for people to make their mistakes. But you really need to be cautious of that and allow people to actually make mistakes, to learn from them, and not be too bossy and too strict regarding your work colleagues and the people that you work with in general. If the ruler of your 6th house is in Aquarius, that means that you seek a high degree of freedom in your work and you really thrive in a very progressive environment. You sometimes also have very impractical ideas, but you must accept the fact that sometimes they just can't be actually put into motion. But you really are able to connect with everything that is very innovative, that is progressive, and you really are likely to see the new trends and to go with them. So you really need your freedom at your workspace, and you really need to be able to actually go in a very progressive direction that will allow you to bring the whole movement forward, because you actually hate to do the things the old way, because you see so many possibilities of how you can actually improve things. If you have the ruler of your 6th house in Pisces, you really may have the tendency to procrastinate about work tasks, and you really should strive to accomplish them in a very timely manner. And your sensitivity can actually become a huge plus when you are working with others, so coworkers or customers in general, because then you can actually make them feel very welcome and calm, and you can actually be very giving and considerate of others. So guys, this is gonna be the end of this video. We went through the whole zodiac signs of your 6th house. We also took a look at the ruler, and we went through the houses as well as the signs of the ruler. So now you really should have an in-depth look about what your 6th house is all about, and this will really allow you to find your soul's purpose. And as I said in the beginning, if you haven't seen the videos from the playlist, I'm gonna link one of the videos right here, so you can go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen them already, because watching this entire series will really give you a in-depth look about what your soul's purpose in this lifetime is. And also, I know that this is so much information, that's why I always urge you to take a notebook when you are watching those videos, so that you can write everything that's actually resonating with you, so that you can actually put all of the pieces together. But if you are still struggling with all of the information that I have provided you with, just leave me a comment down below, and I will create a workbook for you that will explain everything to you again, and that will take you step by step to the journey of figuring out what your soul's purpose is, and those workbooks are gonna be a part of this series that I did, so you can always use the workbook and then watch the videos again. If you would like me to do that, then please comment it down below so I know that you guys want me to do it. Also, if you want to check out any of my other resources that I already did, then make sure to check out my Instagram. And if you want to book a reading with me where I will provide you with your birth chart and I'm gonna do a birth chart reading for you, I offer a variety of readings, so go ahead and check it out on my Instagram page, and I'm gonna leave all of the links down in the bio. So go ahead, check it out and see what offer resonates with you the most and what you would be interested in. And also, if you are not a part of my amazing exclusive Facebook community yet, make sure that you join us, because there I am really able to connect with you on a much deeper level, and then I go in depth about certain things even more so that you can gain even more value from my videos. And if that video was helpful, then please, please, please share that with others, like this video, because this really helps me to get the information out to more people. It helps me to live my soul's purpose, because this is really my purpose, why I am here, why I am able to do what I love, and you guys are helping me out with that. And I am so grateful for every subscriber and every like and every shared video, because this really helps me, and I am so grateful that I have such a wonderful community of you guys. So thank you so much again, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye guys.